the Democratic field of candidates grows wider and wider like a giant fungus in a corner stall of a public bathroom, their ideas seem flakier than Bernie Sanders' shoulders. Lower the voting age to 16. Yeah, that's smart. You know what I was doing when I was 16? Don't worry, I was fine. But yeah, let's let people who eat Tide Pods vote. Why not just include raccoons and lawn furniture while you're at it? They also want to completely change the Supreme Court. They want more judges and term limits. I agree. We need to update the court. It's old. For one, I'd like to see the robes replaced. You know, from their current look. More like something like this. But that's just me. The candidates also want to trash the Electoral College because they lost. How dumb is that? Remember when you were young and played tag? There was that one kid who, once he was it, decided he didn't want to play anymore? That's the Democrats. You see? Applause line. Yeah. All right. You notice a trend. Their ideas, they actually don't help the voter. They help the candidate to win, and they're trying so hard to seem interesting. Take John Hickenlooper, the guy whose name sounds like a medical device from the Victorian age. Chives, fetch me the Hickenlooper. Anyway, this is really odd.
You went to see an X-rated movie with your mother.
I didn't know what an X movie was. We thought it was a little naughty, but we didn't think it was that bad. I promised Jed that we would go to the movie theater and see this new movie. So I took my mother to see Deep Throat. She says, well, I thought the lighting was very good in the movie.
So, you know, while I would turn beet red watching TV with my parents when a commercial for a feminine hygiene product came on, he's taken his mom to see Deep Throat. I think I like him. Meanwhile, did you know that after Beto lost to Ted Cruz, he actually ate dirt? He ate regenerative dirt to cope with defeat. So he didn't just hit the road, he ate the road. That he's weird. It's weird. Wherever he goes, he has to stand on counters where people eat. The guy thinks he's Norma Ray. Look, dude, just because you eat dirt doesn't mean we want to taste the crap on the bottom of your shoes, too. He also wants to abolish the Electoral College. But I guess if he can't win, then change the way the game is played. Well, we can play that game, too.
What's better, the popular vote or the Electoral College? What if it's neither? Introducing the Maroon 5 Election Decider. First, votes are cast by men and women over 18 who don't like Maroon 5. If you have purchased any music by Maroon 5, you cannot vote. Instead, on voting day, you're pelted with spoiled fruit in the town square by an army of trained chimps while the rest of us vote. If you hate Maroon 5 and have proven so by writing "I hate Maroon 5" in permanent ink on your forehead, you get to vote as many times as you like. Each vote wins you a delicious ice cream sundae while you're serenaded by Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo.
Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days.
If Adam Levine removes his shirt at any point during the election is canceled and the presidency is immediately awarded to Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy. In case you find this cruel, is it any more cruel than this? Paid for by the people who hate Maroon 5.
Yes! And there are many of them. Okay. So, the Democrats are idea challenged, mainly because they spent 3 years chasing conspiracy instead of thinking about improving the country. Instead of an idea, their only message is, hey, everyone, we're almost human. A candidate suddenly announces he's in love with a movie star. Another tries to drink a beer. And here's one working out. Yeah, that's not how you work out, lady. Do I have to show you my workout?
This is not enough weight.
No, it isn't, my friend. Now, the more sincere the candidates act, the phonier they look. They're robots trying to act real. Having been politicians for so long, they've replaced a pulse with a focus group. Now, this is the edge that Trump has. He can infuriate you, obviously, or entertain you, but he's more real than all of them combined. Remember when he said this?
You do love your dogs, don't you? I wouldn't mind having one, honestly, but I don't have any time. How would I look walking a dog on the White House lawn? Would that be... Feels a little phony to me.
He says this knowing that America loves their dogs more than their own kids, and yet he doesn't give an F. More important, remember when he said this too?
In 2016, everything read as ISIS. When I took it over, it was a mess. Now, on the bottom, that's the exact same. There is no red. In fact, there's actually a tiny spot which will be gone by tonight.
It's not over. So, just a little spot and it'll be gone by tonight. And guess what? It was. And boy, does he love that chart.
Where the hell is that chart, folks? They gave me all economic charts. They didn't give me the ISIS chart. This is all ISIS. Now on the bottom, that's as of today. This is ISIS. There's none. The caliphate is gone as of tonight. ISIS on election day. Here's ISIS right now, if you look. So there's ISIS. And that's what we have right now, as of last night. That's what we have right now. You guys can have the map. Congratulations.
You can have the map. Congratulations. That last ISIS stronghold is gone as promised. Now, I'm old enough to know that nothing is ever over. There was Al-Qaeda, then there was ISIS. Something worse could follow that, too, which is why we need an adult in charge, someone who may be rude as hell, but knows evil when he sees it. Now, Trump is far from perfect, but unlike the competition, acting human comes naturally. And also, unlike the competition, he's unleashed the economy, destroyed ISIS, reduced the threat of nuclear war, and put more people to work in modern history. You don't have to like him. But the Dems, they're like baby giraffes trying to walk. True, Trump says things that piss everyone off on both sides, but he also said he was going to destroy ISIS, and he kind of did. So when you get that right, you can get the other things wrong. I'd rather have a jerk who kills terrorists than a nice guy who won't. Let's welcome tonight's guest. She's sharp and bright like a dagger made of light bulbs. Fox News contributor, national security analyst, Morgan Ortega. His jokes are drier than an Eskimo's lips. Writer and comedian David Angelo. Her glasses are fake, but her inside is real. Host of the Tyrus and Tim podcast, Cat Tim.
I like that show.
He never needed a booster seat. Former WWE superstar, my massive sidekick and host of Un-PC on Fox Nation, Tyrus. All right. Before we begin, a funny thing happened just before we started taping this show. The Mueller report was delivered to the Attorney General, and none of the details of the report were officially made public at the time that we taped. So here's what I can tell you. If it's Saturday night and the details are public and there's a big whopper in there, I'm not on right now. Someone else is. You can't see this beautiful face. But if I'm on right now, it could mean the Mueller report is still under wraps, or maybe it's not that newsworthy, or maybe there is something newsworthy, but it's been hashed out all day long. We've heard everything, and we're here to give you a little relief. In any case, without knowing what's officially in the report, we can't fairly discuss it. So we're going to stick to the 2020 race in ISIS, okay? All right, Morgan, you're a national security analyst.
Yes.
What do you think about the whole ISIS news?
I mean, I'm glad they're dead. That's how you start. Yeah.
You know, do you say that about a lot of things?
I think that's true. Well, to be fair, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, listen, we can't underscore. It's like a massive accomplishment,
right?
You know what this administration did, and the map was pretty funny when he was like, "This spot's going to be gone later tonight." But it's true, and there's a lot of credit to our allies on the ground,
yes.
men and women. Some of my friends in the reserves who are activated, who have been there fighting this. I just want to say, like, thank you, America. You rock.
Yes. Yeah. I would like to thank myself. I would like to thank myself because I feel that I have done a lot without ever leaving an air-conditioned studio. David, I want to ask you about the candidates. What are your thoughts about the 2020 field?
This field, none of them look appealing. None of them.
None of them?
And it's like Democrats, do you not understand they're crazy people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they didn't know, they think Hillary's honest.
Yes.
They think Beto's interesting. They think Ocasio-Cortez is smart. It's like, this is turn up truck gullible. And Beto, it's like, in the hierarchy of mysteries, you got, where's Jimmy Hoffa's body? Who built Stonehenge, and why is Beto even someone we're talking about? Who is this guy?
He reflects everybody in the media. He's a white beta male, Beto male, and he looks like every editor I've ever worked with, and that's why they like him. I think that, Kat, the actual candidate is missing, right? Don't you feel like it?
I do. All week, I could not stop thinking about how all Democrats made such a big deal about all the McDonald's that Trump drinks and all the Diet Coke that or the McDonald's he eats and the Diet Cokes he drinks. And CNN literally did, like, investigative panels about it.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we have Beto eating dirt.
Yes.
Like, dirt, bro.
I know.
My cat won't even do that, and he is a cat.
Yes.
And I love how Democrats are supposed to be the party of science, but we have Beto over here who thinks you can regenerate yourself by eating the ground.
Yes.
And I just don't know how I'm supposed to believe him saying the world is going to end in 12 years or whatever when he is a human man who is trying to regenerate himself by eating dirt. Like, drink a Gatorade. What are you doing?
Then he left his family and tooled around the country depressed.
Yeah.
This is our next president.
I think it's okay to have a depressed president.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I don't know what that means. Iris.
Listen, I don't know what your question is, but I want to talk about that creepy dude going to a porno with his mama.
You know, he didn't want her to be alone that night. Did you know that?
I don't give a damn if she was dying with cancer. My mama ain't going with me no damn porno. He said the movie was Deep Throat and she liked the lighting.
Yes.
At that moment, that reporter said, thank you for your time.
Yes.
Get the hell off my stage, you creepy old man. You didn't have the skill set. Here's the deal. This is why this dude can't be president.
Right.
There was an uncomfortable situation that required a skill set to get out of it. Me and my boy going to see Deep Throat.
Yes.
Mama says, Tyrus, I'm going with you. I would then punch my friend in the face right in front of my mom. Big fight. I get sent to my room.
Yes.
He has to go home. We don't go to the movie.
Yeah.
Problem averted. That's leadership.
All right. The other thing, too, the thing that bothers me about...
Sharing popcorn with your mama?
Yeah, I know.
She's like, wow, the lighting's great.
Yeah, and this, I want to wrap up. The problem with John Hickenlooper is that he's a liar because the lighting was terrible in Deep Throat. All right.